A mystery that remains unsolved. On January 26, 1966, three siblings, Jane, Arna, and Grant Beaumont, disappeared from a beach in Adelaide, Australia. The Beaumont brothers' case is one of the most mysterious and tragic in Australian history, and has continued to intrigue investigators and the general public for over 50 years. A day of sunshine and fun. That morning, the Beaumont siblings left home to spend the day at Glenelg Beach, a popular family destination. Their mother, Nancy, gave them money for bus fare and a snack. They were due to return home around 2 p.m., but were never seen again. A desperate search. The Beaumont family became concerned when the siblings did not return when expected. The police were called, and a desperate search was launched. The beach was searched, and witnesses were interviewed, but no solid leads were found. A case that changed history. The disappearance of the Beaumont brothers changed the way Australian parents viewed the safety of their children. The case also influenced the way police investigated crimes against minors. But despite the investigative efforts, the Beaumont brothers' case remains unsolved. A mystery that remains. What happened to the Beaumont brothers? Were they kidnapped, murdered, or did they simply disappear? The Beaumont brothers' case is a mystery that remains unsolved and has continued to intrigue investigators and the general public for over 50 years. The day they disappeared, on January 26, 1966, a shocking event shook Australia. Jane, age 9, Arna, age 7, and Grant Beaumont, age 4, mysteriously disappeared in the southern city of Adelaide. The day was a national holiday, celebrated as Australia Day, and the Beaumont family had no problem allowing their children to spend the morning at the popular Glenelg Beach, a destination frequented by many families. At the time, crime in Australia was relatively low, and letting children play outside alone was common. Jane, the eldest, was considered responsible enough to take care of her siblings. Their parents gave them money for bus fare and to buy them something to eat. They were supposed to return home around 2 p.m., but were never seen again. During the morning, several witnesses saw them having fun on the beach, and some even reported seeing them interacting with an unknown man. Police gathered reports indicating that the children were in a seemingly calm state, with no signs of distress or fear, which raised the possibility that the suspect was already known to them. The disappearance occurred in broad daylight in a busy area, making it even more perplexing that no one saw anything suspicious happening. Perhaps due to Australia's reputation as a safe country where people tend to trust others, the children did not perceive the evil in the man who allegedly kidnapped them. My big question is, how was it possible to kidnap 3 children in a busy place without anyone noticing anything suspicious? The witness account witnesses reported seeing the children in the company of a tall, blonde man in his 30s who appeared friendly and known to them. What intrigued the police was that Jane was described as a reserved and shy girl with strangers, which raised the hypothesis that the suspect had had contact with the siblings before. Some witnesses stated that he played with the children and even bought them food, which indicated a certain level of familiarity and trust. A postman who knew the family well stated that he had seen the 3 around noon, walking together and smiling. They appeared to be returning home, and there was no indication that they were in danger. This testimony led to disagreements about the exact time of the disappearance, making it difficult to establish a timeline for the investigation. In addition, a local merchant confirmed that Jane went to a store and bought meat pies and soft drinks, using a note that her parents said they had not given her, suggesting that the suspect had provided this money. Another detail that caught people's attention was that the children were supposedly seen playing in the grass near the beach before they disappeared. However, no witnesses were able to confirm the exact moment they disappeared, which made it difficult to reconstruct the events. The lack of security cameras at the time made the investigation even more complicated. Is Beaumont linked to a wider criminal network? In 2013, a new site was excavated based on a statement from a man who claimed to know where the children's bodies were buried. Unfortunately, the search did not yield any significant discoveries. This begs the question, will the Beaumont brothers case ever be solved? Despite continued efforts, no definitive evidence has been found, and the mystery remains unsolved. The Beaumont brothers case is a tragic reminder of the vulnerability of children and the importance of vigilance and protection. As a forensic expert, it is fascinating to consider the impact that the Beaumont brothers' disappearance had on Australian society. According to Australian criminologist Paul Wilson, the Beaumont case was a watershed in the history of child justice in Australia. Wilson, 2013. The Beaumont brothers' disappearance in 1966 forever changed the way Australian parents viewed the safety of their children. Until then, it was common to see children playing freely in the streets without adult supervision. However, parents became more cautious after the incident, and security measures were tightened across the country. As sociologist John Carroll notes, the Beaumont case was a catalyst for changes in the laws relating to child offenses and police investigative work. Carroll, 2016. The media continued to cover the case over the decades, and Jim and Nancy Beaumont were left living with the burden of tragedy and uncertainty. Sadly, both died without ever knowing what really happened to their children. Even though the story of the Beaumont brothers has not been solved, it remains one of Australia's greatest mysteries. Numerous searches have been carried out over the years, including attempts to use modern technology to uncover new evidence, but to no avail. As a forensic scientist, it is frustrating to see that the Beaumont brothers case remains unsolved. However, it is important to remember that the truth about what happened on that sunny January morning in 1966 may never be revealed, leaving an eternal void in Australian criminal history and in the memory of an entire nation. The disappearance of the Beaumont siblings is one of the most mysterious and shocking cases in Australian criminal history. Jane Nartari Beaumont, aged 9, Arna Kathleen Beaumont, aged 7, and Grant Ellis Beaumont, aged 4, disappeared on 26 January 1966 from Glenelg Beach in Adelaide, South Australia. The incident not only shocked the nation, but also profoundly altered perceptions of safety and the way parents supervised their children. The day they disappeared. On that hot summer day, known as Australia Day, the children asked their mother, Nancy Beaumont, for permission to visit Glenelg Beach, a popular destination they had frequented before. Nancy obliged, giving them coins for bus fare and something to eat. The children caught the 8:45 a.m. bus and were due to return at noon. When they did not return at the agreed time, Nancy began to worry. Their father, Jim Beaumont, returned from a business trip at around 3 p.m. and, together with Nancy, began a desperate search for the children, culminating in a visit to the police station at 5:30 p.m. to report them missing. Witnesses and the unknown. Several witnesses reported seeing the children in the company of a tall, fair-haired man in his 30s on Glenelg Beach. They appeared to be comfortable and enjoying themselves with him. A local bakery worker stated that Jane had bought meat pies with a pound note, unusual as Nancy had only given the children coins. This discrepancy suggested that the unknown man may have provided the money. Initial investigation. Police launched one of the largest search operations in Australian history, scouring beaches, parks, abandoned buildings, and interviewing hundreds of people. Despite efforts, no concrete clues as to the children's whereabouts were found. The lack of evidence and the absence of a clear motive made the case even more enigmatic. The Beaumont brothers case remains one of Australia's greatest criminal mysteries. Decades have passed, and there are still no concrete answers about what really happened on that sunny day in Glenelg. This disappearance forever changed the way parents view their children's safety and left deep scars on Australian society. If you like this video and want to follow more mysteries like this, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any content. Leave a like to support our work and share it with your friends so more people know this story. And if you want to watch another intriguing case, there is already a recommended video on the screen right now. Until the next mystery.